Hi, welcome back. This is part 14 to What If Deku Was Born with a Hybrid Quirk. Our favorite hero, he somewhat got rudely awakened up by his younger sister, and he was rushing to get showered and everything, get his clothes ready. And so he's getting dressed and everything, and while that's happening, like, he hears the doorbell and he just thinks, crap, they're already here. So he doesn't he just grabs random dress shirt and just a pair of jeans and shoes and stuff, and just casually throws them on, grabbing his gym bag and everything. And and at the same time, his sister's like, I'll get it. And she goes to the door and everything, and she sees that it's Momo and Kendo, and she properly greets them and everything, and invites them in. And Mitsuki comes to the door, and she's like, have you girls had breakfast yet? And they say no. And Mitsuki invites them for breakfast, but as she says that, Izuku's coming down the stairs, and he says, it's okay, Mom, we were actually going to grab something at the cafe near the beach before heading to the dojo. And Mitsuki kind of raises her eye, and she's like, oh, so you're taking him on a date? And Izuku kind of blushes at this, and he's like, Mom. And she's like, okay, it's fine, just make sure you get enough to eat. Do you have enough and everything? And Izuku's like, Mom, I have plenty. I definitely have enough to do everything today. And she's like, okay, be safe, make sure you're back before this afternoon. And then Izuku's like, well, Mom, about that, I kind of need to speak with All Might about something. And this kind of piques Kendo and Momo's interest. They're like, wait, what? And so on the way to the cafe and everything, they're asking Izuku, Izuku obviously said goodbye to Katsuri, and she was kind of pouting about it. And Izuku promised to make her breakfast, to actually make her something when he gets back, or to make something the next day for. And she's like, oh, yay. So playsates her, and Mitsuki gives her a hug, and Bakugo yells from the dining table. He's like, yo, we still on for tomorrow? And Izuku's like, yeah, I just have this to deal with and everything. And Katsu's like, I kind of let you sleep in today because I knew what was going on. And he's like, yeah, I know. And he's like, if you're not up when I'm up, I'm gonna come into your room. And Izuku's like, I get it, Katsuki. Yeah. And Momo and Kendo kind of laugh at this. So on their way to the train station to catch a train to over by the beach and to the cafe and everything before they head over to Kendo's dad's dojo and everything. Momo and Kendo kind of ask Izuku, so what do you need to talk to All Might about? And Izuku kind of realizes he kind of messed up a little bit, and he's like, I guess it's as good as time as any to say it. And Izuku asks, looks at him, and he's looking around and everything, and he pulls them to the side, and he's like, well, the thing is, like like All Might's been training me and Kotsky since we were kids, and that's kind of why we have such good control over our quirks. It's when we were younger, we were hurt. We could hurt ourselves and stuff like that, and All Might kind of knew my mom, and like he was coming by he came to like pay the respects to her because she helped him out with like a very important thing once, and like he hasn't really told me about it, which is the bald face. Like he's basically he's not directly lying to them, but he's not telling them the whole truth yet, because it's not really his secret to tell. So he explains to him that All Might like knew his mom, and like when he came to pay respects to at the memorial service, like he kind of hung around and he saw me and Kotsky kind of like sparring on the beach, and then like we stopped and everything, and we kind of like used our quirks out to the ocean, and he's like, "Whoa, these boys are strong." And from what he says, he wanted to like train us so out of respect for my mom and everything. So he's basically been our hero since we were like 9 years old. And Kendo and Mama are like awestruck at this. They're like, "Wait, you've known All Might for the past 7 years?" And Izuku's like, "Well, technically, I've I've met him and sort of like seen him every once in a while after that when I was 5 years old." And they kind of like, "Wait, what?" And Izuku explains the first time that he met All Might in person about like the villain attack and everything that how his mom basically got into like hero work. And so he goes over that. They arrive at the cafe, like Izuku like goes up to the counter, orders like a light breakfast and everything because they are going to be working out in like an hour or so. Like they decided to like go to the beach, and Izuku like he asks Momo, can she create like a backpack for him? And she's like, what do you need it for? And he's like, well, you guys brought your workout clothes, right? And they both look at him like, yeah. And he's like, so Momo like she's like, if we're gonna be working out, like I kind of need to conserve energy. And he's like, okay. So he's like, well, we can stop by like the clothes store that's a few streets over and see if they have any backpacks or stuff. So they go to this after they eat their breakfast and everything. They casually walk over to the store, and like Izuku finds a backpack that's big enough for him to stuff his gym bag in, and like the girls' clothes and stuff. And he asks like the owners, like, can we use like your changing rooms to like change into our gear because mom's my mom's gym isn't completely built yet. Like it's just basically like the pull-up bars and everything right now. And Momo and Kendo are kind of like, wait, what does he mean by that? It's not really a big issue, but like it kind of gets them thinking about stuff combined with what they heard from through the grapevine about like Katsuki and Izuku wanting to like open their own hero agency at some point. So like they get changed into their workout clothes, and Izuku like says, I can carry all of your gear and stuff. We're going to do like a light jog like to your dad's place. And Kendo and Momo are like, wait, what? That's like over an hour away. And Izuku's like, don't freak out about this. Like, he takes like two blood tendrils and like touches like their heads, and like they just feel energetic. And he's like, yeah, this is like part of my quirk. I can kind of like give people like a stamina boost and like a strength boost. And he's like, well, and it's really handy for when people really want to like push their limits and work out with me. I kind of do it so when people who aren't used to like my normal workouts work out with me, so they can somewhat keep up. And they ask him, he's like, so do you do this with Katsuki? And like Izuku's like, no, like he keeps up on his own. Like his quirks are strong enough to where like he works on his quirk control when he physically works out with me. Because he sort of has like a weird enhancement quirk as well, and they're like, wait, what? Like we thought his quirk was explosions. Like, yeah, that's his main quirk, but like me, like how I have like my main quirk is superhuman, but I also have this other quirk that involves blood, like, and he's kind of looking down, like, and they're like, it's fine, he's like, we get it. It's like, it's weird. Some of the abilities that it has is kind of creepy, but you can't help like what your quirk is. And so he marks them and gives them like a slight stamina boost, and he's like, so we're gonna do some stretches first on the beach and everything, and then we're gonna start there. And Momo and Kendo are like, so like we're gonna start at the beach and then go to the dojo. Like, why don't we start here? And he's like, well, I first want to like explain some things to you, and like I feel like it would be best to do it underneath, like at her grave. And they kind of like look at him. They're like, what do you mean grave? And he's like, well, we kind of had her ashes through special approval of the city to like have her ashes embalmed in that statue, and we made sure it was made out of like the strongest materials on the planet, so that it can't really be like destroyed. And I'm like, kind of creepy, but like they get it. They're like, oh wow, so that's why we can always find you at this beach and everything. And he's like, he puts his hand behind his head and he's kind of smiling. And at this, like, Kendo and Momo are kind of like, whoa, he's smiling, because Izuku doesn't really show a lot of emotions, and it's rare that he smiles like he is, because like he's like genuinely smiling about this. He's like, yeah, like whenever I miss her, like I kind of just show up at the beach and like spend time like just sitting there and just talking. And Momo and Kendo get it. Like they like, especially Kendo, because occasionally she does visit her parents. She does visit her parents' graves, like, and it's not to the extent that Izuku does, because like they passed away when she was really young, like younger than Izuku. So I'm gonna say that, because I can't find too much, like there's not really any mention of her biological parents or like the situation with their stepfather, like how he became her stepfather. So I basically came up with my own story with this. And we're going to say Kendo's parents were driving one day with her, and like they were in a car accident and they both passed away. And Kendo's stepfather was a friend of the family and was like their emergency contact. And like I said in the previous episode of this series, that he basically went through all the paperwork and hoops to like formally adopt her so that she doesn't get sent to an orphanage. And so that's kind of why her and Izuku like connect. So Momo and Kendo like get the fact of visiting his quote unquote mother's grave, and so like they're like they kind of have like that like a little bit of an awe moment with him. And so like he gets there and like they're kind of like a little bit nervous, like, and Izuku like does the whole like with incense, like lighting incense and everything, because there is an incense holder, like a few incense holders at the base of the statue. And it's like, Mom, like, these are two very important people to me. I wanted to bring them by and introduce them to you. And he's like, this girl, like, this is Momo Yaoyorozu. This is the girl that Dad. I don't know if you knew this, but like her, like our dads, like kind of betrothed us together. And then this is another girl that I like in Itsuka Kendo. Her father was the martial arts instructor that you would take me and Katsuki to receive some martial arts training from in the classes and everything. And both Kendo and Momo like bow their heads and they're like, "Nice to meet you, Miss Midoriya. We hope that you've been able to rest in peace, and your son is an amazing guy and he's so much kind-hearted, and you would be proud of like the man that he's turning into." And like after the whole formalities and everything, like they start stretching and everything, and then they just basically jog to Kendo's dad's dojo. So, and they're surprised when they look at their watches and it's only been 40 minutes, and they're like, "Whoa, that's crazy." And we've barely broken a sweat. And Izuku's like, "Yeah, like I kind of normally run like several miles in the morning." And they're like, "Whoa, what? And then you like work out hardcore?" And they're like, and he's like, "Yeah, like it's just because of because of how my quirks interact with each other. Like I have like a lot of stamina, and that's like I usually stretch and then do like a warm-up run to like get my blood pumping, you know?" And both Kendo and Momo like get it because they both do hand-to-hand combat. So they arrive at the dojo, they take off their feats and everything, and Kendo's dad is there, and he's like surprised, and like Kendo's dad is like, um, "It's Luca. Like I thought you were going on a date with," and then like Izuku like walks in, and he's like, "Your boyfriend," and like immediately Kendo's face just turns beet red, and she's like, "Dad." And Izuku like bows and he's like, "Sensei, please give me instruction today. It's been a while since I've had any instruction from you." And Kendo's dad is like, "Whoa, like okay, but from what I've heard, you're a pretty good martial artist." And Izuku raises his head. He's like, "Yes, but you're my first sensei." And this kind of like in the back of Kendo's father's head, he's like, "Oh my god, this is like amazing. I have such a like he's such a good student." You know, like that teacher moment, like when when someone like you're giving instructions to and everything does something that just makes you go like, "Oh my god." So over the next hour or so, like Kendo is kind of like showing Momo around the place and everything, and Izuku is like basically reconnecting with his old sensei, you know, like because this is the guy that initially taught him martial arts. So you just see Izuku like lightly sparring with his old teacher and everything, and just his old teacher, like Kendo's dad, is like really going at it with him, and this is like a light spar for Izuku. And his like Kendo's dad like looks at him and is like, you're just like, this is like nothing to you, isn't it? And like Izuku's like, yeah, I'm sorry. And like it's okay though. Like this is kind of fun because I haven't I've never really like been able to like spar with you because like you've always been like the teacher. This is the first time. And Izuku is like just really smiling, and from the sidelines, like Momo and Kendo are just looking at this. They're like, "Yeah, this was definitely a good decision to do." Like they're satisfied with this, and so this goes on for about an hour, and then afterwards, like Izuku stops and like bows to his former teacher, and he's like, "Sensei, it thank you for today. Like I really needed this." And Kendo's dad kind of like walks up to him, and he like grabs him and he's like, "I'm sorry that you had to deal with your mom's death alone, and like I wasn't able to be there when you needed it." And Kendo's dad is like, Mr. Kendo like starts to like cry a little bit, and like Izuku's like, "Sensei, don't cry. Like it's not your fault. It's just how things happened. And I'm sorry, like I stopped coming by." And Kendo's dad's like, "No, that's okay. Like it's understandable why." And like they kind of laugh and everything, and Izuku asks him and is like, "So, do you mind if I come by every once in a while now and like spar with you?" And Kendo's dad's like, "I would actually very much enjoy that." And so like they bow to the mat and everything and like leave like the sparring ring. And Izuku walks up to Kendo and like with a towel and like kind of just like wipes like what little sweat there was like off his face, while like Kendo's dad is like really like wiping his face and neck and arms and everything. And Izuku like walks up and like hugs Kendo, and then he hugs Momo and he's like, "I really needed this. Like thanks. Like yesterday really, like the things with my mom and everything, and like everything just compounded, and this this really helped out, and like you guys are like the best." And this kind of makes Momo and Kendo blush a little bit. And so like Izuku says his goodbyes to his former teacher and everything, and he's like, "I'll definitely like stop in from time to time to like do this again." And it's like Kendo's like, I'll be waiting for that. So like they get changed and everything into like their civilian clothes, and Izuku takes them out like shopping at the mall and everything, and excuse me. And while they're at the mall, they kind of like run into Katsuki or Raka and like everyone else and a bunch of the kids from from 1A. And so like they're like, "Whoa, what are you guys doing here?" And then Katsuki's like, "Looks like they're on a date," and like all three of them kind of blushed a little bit, and like the rest of the class is like, "Wait, what, a date?" And like the girls kind of like rush over and grab like Momo and Kendo besides Araka, because she kind of already knows like they're all dating and everything, and so they're asking the two like, "So like you so wait, you guys are you both are dating Izuku? And they're like, yeah, like things happened and we sort of agreed to share him. And they're like, whoa, that's crazy. Like, and you guys are okay with that? And like both Momo and Ken was like, yeah. And they're like, we we get to be with the guy that we really like, and we're really good friends with each other too. So like we're totally fine with it. And so the thing with Tomura at the mall doesn't really happen in this. So like they spend time at the mall, and the guys are kind of like some of the guys besides Katsuki are like, so you have two girlfriends, and everything. Like Izuku's like, well, I guess so, and they're like, how did that happen? And he's like, and Izuku's like, well, I kind of really don't really know. Like things just kind of happen. And Katsuki's like, dude, you're such a nerd. Like you're so dense to some things sometimes. And everyone's like, what do you mean by that, Katsuki? And he's like, well, dude, like we've basically known those two like since we were like 6 and 7 years old. But like we really like lost contact after. And he's like, he says, it's fine, Katsuki. Like, you don't have to tiptoe around the subject anymore. Like, I've got to get used to people talking about my mom. And he's like, yeah, ever since Shield Maiden passed away, um, things happened where, like, we kind of lost contact with them and everything. And we haven't really reconnected with them until we got back to UA. So that being said, like they hang out for a couple of hours and everything, and Izuku's like, Katsuki, can you make sure like they get home and everything? Like I kind of have to go meet with our teacher. And Katsuki's like, yeah, I'll make sure that they get home safely, bro. You go speak to him and everything. And this is after everyone's disbanded, and it's only Momo, Kendo, or Raka, and Katsuki. And so Izuku kind of like leaps off, like while he's calling All Might, saying that he needs to talk to him um about One for All, and because something weird happened to him during the Forts Festival, and like a weird dream. He had a weird dream last night. And so we cut over to a conversation between Katsuki and Momo, Kendo, and Naraka. And Kendo is like asks, like, does Uraraka know who your guys' teacher is? And Katsuki is like, wait, you guys know? And like Momo's like, yeah, it kind of, like Izuku kind of let it slip, and Katsuki's like, oh my god, that nerd, and he tells me to be careful. And Raraki's like, what are you guys talking about? And Katsuki's like, oh my god. And so Momo and Kendo explained that because Katsuki's like doesn't know what to say, and so basically Momo and Kendo like tell Uraraka the same thing that Izuku told him. And Uraraka's like, what, really? You guys have known All Might that long, and he's like been teaching you guys over the past like 7 years? Like, no wonder you two are so strong. You've been trained by the #1 hero for 7 years. So, like, so that whole thing happens, and like they go home and everything. And like before he left, he asked Katsuki to remind Mom that I'm going to be home past curfew because I don't know how long meeting with our teacher is going to be. Like, because he doesn't know if Uraraka knows her yet. Excuse me. I kind of have like some like sinus problems because of pollen like going on right now with Juniper. So we cut over to Izuku meeting up with All Might, and he's like, So, what do you need to speak about young Midoriya? And he goes on about how in the sports festival, like, he saw, like, these flashes of light, and there was 8 of them, and All Might's like, oh, so that happened. That means the power of One for All is becoming more and more of your own. And then Izuku explains, like, his dream, and he's like, wait, what? You saw Sensei Nana? Like, you know who Nana is? And, like, Izuku's like, no, not really. Like, who is she? Like, it seemed like she was an amazing person. And All Might, like, explains that that's who passed on One for All to her and everything. And he's like, so you're saying I was sort of there too? And he's like, yeah, like, it's weird, I don't know. And I don't know if you remember, but a few years ago, like, I asked you a question and then, like, you answered it back to me, but, like, it felt weird for me because I heard you, but I also, like, heard your mind. And he's like, and, like, they kind of, like, go over that because of their connection through One for All, he like, they may be connected through One for All because of what's going on with the vestiges. It may have been a mutation with his own quirk and, like, the whole bond thing, and that may be why, like, they can somewhat, like, they don't really know how to, like, what to think about it. And then Izuku, like, his facial expressions turn completely different, and then All Might's like, what's up, young Midoriya? And then he's like, I'm not sure if I should say this or not. And he's like, go ahead, and, like, whatever it is, it can't be weirder than this. And then he goes on about what this woman looks like and everything, and, like, how her eyes glowed, and how she kind of smelled like me and my mom, but, like, different, and, like, she had a similar scent to my mom, but it was different, and he doesn't know if he's related to this person or not. And then he says, like, before the last time I saw her, like, her eyes glowed, and then she kind of, like, faded out of existence. And at this, something in the back of All Might's mind thinks, and he's like, wait, it can't be. And Izuku kind of, like, sees this, and he's like, what's going on, All Might? Like, do you know who she is? And, like, All Might's like, I'm not sure, but, like, I'll have to ask one of my teachers about this. Like, it sounds familiar, but, like, I'm not 100% sure about it. So, we, in the day where, like, All Might, like, says, well, young Midoriya, like, you've given me a lot to think about, like, this afternoon. Make sure you get home safely. And if anything happens, you know what protocols to follow, right? And he's like, yes, definitely, Sensei. And All Might, like, lifts off, and he's like, and I am off. And so All Might jumps off, and Izuku does the same thing, like, jumping to his place. And Izuku's not really using his quirk, his One for All quirk, or his super strength to do this. This is just, like, natural strength for him. Like, he basically jumps off the building and, like, just proceeds to, like, walk to the nearest train station to catch, like, a train home and everything. And he arrives late in the afternoon, and it's, like, about an hour past his curfew. And Kitsuri's, like, sitting there waiting at the door for him with Mitsuki and everything, and she just runs up and, like, gives him a hug, and she's like, you said you'd be back this afternoon. Because, like, oh, shoot, I didn't tell you what time, did I? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Suri-chan. Like, I promise I won't do it again. And And she's like, you promise? And he's like, I promise. And so, like, he goes up, and Mitzi is like, your dinner's on the table and everything. Like, you just have to reheat it. And so he sits down and, like, he's eating, and Mitzi's, like, there too, like, and she asks, she's like, so, how did the bit go? And this is when, like, he had just, like, bitten something. He kind of coughs. He's like, and he's like blushing a little bit. He's like, wait, you know? And Mitzi's like, yeah, I know. Like, it was kind of obvious what was going on. So how did it go? And he's like, it was awesome because I got to see Sensei Kendo. I got to spar with him, and, like, we talked and everything. And I don't know, like, today, like, I really needed today, like, after, like, recent events. It's really helped me out, Mom, you know? And, like, it's helped me to deal with Mom's, like, issues that I have with Mom. And Izuku's like, I'm sorry, Mom. Like, I don't mean to, like, make you feel uncomfortable. And Mitsu's like, it's fine. Inko will always be your mother, but I don't want you to feel like you have to tiptoe about it around me. Like, I understand, like, she'll always be your mother, but you have two mothers now. And Izuku's like, yeah, I understand. It's just, I feel bad, like, talking about her around you. And Mitsuki's like, it's fine. Like, Inko was like a sister to me, so, like, I miss her too, sweetie. And so Izuku, like, prepares for bed and everything, and, like, he goes to sleep. So we are at 36 minutes, and this video is a little bit longer than this one's a little bit longer than normal. I really wanted to show a lot of psychological development for Izuku, because he's basically, up until this point, been, like, kind of an edgelord, you know? So with that being said, again, thank you for the 50 subscribers. Like, I hit the goal. The next goal is, like, 100 subscribers. Like and comment down below. Again, I have two suggestions. I have two options for my 50 sub special that I can do either one. I haven't really scripted either one. Is if Deku was part alien, or if Deku had a metagene. And if I don't get any votes by let's say tomorrow, within the next I'll say the next 24 hours, I will do one of them. And then the later one will just be like a later what if that I will start up. So even if your choice doesn't win, I will eventually get around to doing that one as well. So that being said, you guys have a nice day and enjoy the rest of the year.